Hello, welcome to my channel. It's Mrs. Salee. If you would like to learn how to draw a Minecraft Steve, please grab yourself an eraser, something to draw with, a marker or something to outline your doodle with, and a straight edge or a ruler so you can draw some nice straight lines. And we are going to learn how to draw this adorable Minecraft Steve, so stick around. So we are going to start with a Minecraft Steve. Now, I am not a Minecraft expert by any means. I am just going to try my best, as I hope you will too. I'm going to start with my piece of paper, and I'm going to make my paper go vertical. So vertical means that it is skinnier and wider, and that's because my Minecraft character is going to be skinnier and taller. So I want my paper to fit my image, my doodle, whatever I am creating. So we are going to start with our drawing utensil and our straight edge. So I just found a little letter stencil here to use for a straight edge. If you have a ruler, that would be best. You could use the end of a box. You can use anything that's got a nice straight edge. You can even fold a piece of paper in half or in thirds to give it a little bit more thickness and make it a little sturdier, and use that as your straight edge. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up towards the top of my picture, and I'm going to try to come to the middle of my paper. And I am going to draw a line to make the middle part of his head, because his head is going to be turned. I don't want it super big, but I do want to create a pretty even box. So I actually might make my line here just a little bit bigger. I got plenty of paper. All right, and then I'm going to use this to make kind of like the axe looks. So I'm going to come over here, and I want it to be pretty even to this box. So I don't want it to be very big. I want my line to be a good size, but I don't want it to be so big that his head becomes a rectangle, because his head should be a little more square. So I'm going to come out and stop, and I didn't make a big angle. It's not a giant it's not a big diagonal there. It's just a light, short angle. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And my lines are not perfect, and that is okay, especially if you're working in pencil, because when you outline, you can always go back in and fix up anything that you do not like. Now, I'm going to come parallel. So I always like to match my ruler up to the line I'm trying to be parallel with, and then I just slide it down to where I'm going to go. And that way my line is as close to parallel as I can make it with the line up above. And take your finger, do an invisible line straight down so you kind of know where to stop. And then draw your line across. So now I have the one side of my head. So now I'm going to come over here, and I am going to connect these two lines and finish off that tiny little area that I missed. So now we have part of his head. I am not going to do this part yet, and you're going to see why in a minute. I am going to actually slide down, and I'm going to try to keep my ruler line here parallel with the outside of my paper. I don't want my ruler to be like this, because then his body is going to be at a slope. I want to keep it as flat as I can, so that way both sides look like they have a pretty equal amount of space. I'm going to slide it up. I don't want it to be too close. I want a gap here. And I'm going to draw a straight line. So I'm going to come down here and figure out where my end of my head would be. And I want to come just a little bit past the end of his head. And I'm going to draw a straight line all the way across. And I'm going to go a little bit past the end of his head over here. And I'm going to remove my ruler. So right now it looks like a whole lot of nothing. But we're getting there, I promise. Now I'm going to come back up and finish off his head. So I'm going to come over here, and I want to go parallel to this middle line. So I'm going to slide my ruler, and I'm going to draw a straight line going straight down into that area we just drew. So a nice straight line down. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to finish. I'm going to kind of come down at a nice parallel line. And I want to finish this line right here into this line, like that. So now we have his head. Again, it is turned and it is on top of his body, which we have not drawn yet. I'm going to come over here, line it up, and I'm just going to slide it out, and I'm going to stop. And I want to draw a nice straight line here. And that's going back. And that is the bottom part of his head. See, we're getting there. All right, now we are going to come in this side over here, and I want to keep my ruler nice and straight, or my straight edge, whatever you are using. And I am going to come down. And I don't want to go down super far, maybe halfway from what you have left in your space. Not halfway down the whole paper, but halfway between the shoulders and the bottom of your paper. And I'm going to draw in what will be his arm. And I'm going to scoot over, and I'm going to come about halfway, and I'm going to come down and meet that line. So this would be like his armpit, and we're going to come down to where his hand would be. And you can use your ruler or your straight edge to draw a straight line there. So now he has one arm. So we are still missing a whole lot for our Minecraft Steve. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make just a little downward angle, not a big one, and I'm not going to make it super long. And I'm actually going to come over here and do the same thing, just a little upward angle. And then I'm going to use my straight edge to connect those two lines. So I'm going to add a line there, connect them, and now we've got the back side of his arm. So we are getting somewhere. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to move just inward a little bit from where his bottom of his arm is. I don't want to go in too far, and I'm going to come down. And I'm going to end just a little bit before the bottom of the paper, just so I have something to color down here. You don't need to go all the way down. And then I'm going to come back over here, and I want to be even with this line here. So if I use my little straight edge, I can kind of hold it there and put my finger there and then move that there. And I kind of know I want to stop right about the top part of that H. And I'm going to make a nice straight line. And again, you can pause this at any time if it gets a little too complicated. It is definitely a difficult drawing. We are trying to draw something that is pixelated on a surface. I'm going to come up here and see where his armpit is up here. I'm going to come over, and I want my armpit to be in the same spot. And I am going to come all the way down. And this is where his pants will be. His arm over here, I can turn my paper, line up that line there. We're going to try to keep it as straight as this one here. So now he's got his two arms, we've got a head, and we've got our pants going. So I'm going to come back here. We're going to finish off the back side of his pants. So I'm going to come over just a little bit past the halfway point, and I'm going to do a straight line down. And I am ending earlier than where this line ends. And there's a reason, because we're adding that angle there just like we did here to make the back side of his foot. And now, before I do his pants, I'm going to come up here to his shirt with my straight edge, and I'm going to draw a straight line that's going to go almost all the way across. I'm stopping just a little bit before I hit his hand. And I'm going to go down, over, down, over. And that's just to help add a little bit of that pixelated look to what right now is a very flat image. I'm going to turn my paper and draw my lines going right across. I'm going to match up these two and connect. Now he's got his legs. Now I can come in, I can find the middle, line up my straight edge, and I can draw the line for his legs. And I am not going all the way up. I am stopping below where his shirt ends, so that way this would be both legs. This is the back of his legs. We don't need to draw anything there. Now we need a couple details. So now we need to go in and we need to add his face, his shoes, and things like that. So I'm going to come down here on the bottom, and I'm going to draw a nice straight line for the front part of his shoes. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to keep my line here parallel with that line down there, but I'm only going to draw it about halfway. And then I'm going to come up straight and I'm going to go back over at an angle, and that would be the back part of his shoe. Then I'm going to come up here right where the end of the shirt ends, and I'm going to line it up nice and straight, and I'm going to draw a straight line all the way across on each side, and that is his t-shirt. Now we need a straight line over here, and it's going to come down at a little bit of an angle, not a big angle. We just don't want it to go perfectly straight across, so it is going to have a little angle to it. And then I'm going to come in the middle of his shirt up here, and I am going to come down on each side. Then I'm going to come in on each side, just a little bit. I still have a middle area. I'm going to come down again, and then I'm going to connect, and that is going to create the collar or the neckline there for his outfit. Then I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to slide down for his hair, because I do want to keep that line parallel too. So I'm going to draw right in the middle, just a nice angled line right in the middle. And then I'm going to go straight down. And again, we want to stay even with that one. And then I'm going to go right across. And then the same thing over here. We're going to come straight down and we're going to go right across. And that way we have what is the top part of his head or his hair. And then over here, we're going to come in at a little bit of a different angle. So I'm going to use this and I'm going to slide up so I stay parallel. And I'm going to come over. And then I'm going to go up, over, down, and I'm going to go down further than that one, and that's because that is where his ear cuts out, and I'm going to go across. So just go ahead and create these crazy lines. It looks a little bit like there's a door there, and that's where his ear will be, and then we kind of go into the face. So now I'm going to come in over here and I'm going to draw 2 lines up. I'm going to come over, down, over again, and up. And now I have his mouth. In the middle, I'm going to draw a skinny rectangle for his nose, and I'm going to finish off Steve with 2 rectangles for the eyes. And I'm going to color in half going inward on those rectangles. So we have a Minecraft Steve, and we are ready to get him colored in. So I'm going to fast forward my coloring. Stick around. There we go. We have a Minecraft Steve. I know that his skin color is a little bit off, but I only had a peach crayon. To make his pants a little darker, I used black with a different blue just to try to make them a little more like blue jeans. But here's our Minecraft Steve. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Please like and subscribe and stick around on this channel for some more awesome drawing doodles. Happy doodling!